And our next guest is Greg Melia, founder of Melia Advisory Group in Tulsa, Oklahoma, also a repeat guest here on The Income Generation. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
So, the economy, is it going to stutter in the fourth quarter? Is it going to keep trudging ahead? And how is that going to affect the economy in 2019? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the Fed raising the rates is really putting a squash on the economy. I think the economy is raising rates in a much weaker economy than they see or foresee. Mm-hmm. I kind of look back to the late 20s, and you kind of see the same reaction. Started raising rates into what they thought was a strong economy, which a lot of people blame them for the ultimate correction that was very significant back then. So, I think the raising the rates is gonna shut the economy down.
Do you think we'll officially go into recession in 2019 at some point?
Entirely possible, absolutely.
So my hope is the Fed would smarten up and not continue along its path. You're thinking that you're a little less hopeful that'll happen. So, okay, the recession starts. How does that affect the stock market next year? After this 15% drop, are we okay now? Is it just going to stay level, or you think it's got more downside potential in 2019?
I think we've got a lot more downside potential. I think that the stock market's at an artificial high from all the, as your previous guest mentioned, caffeine that's been injected into it. That caffeine's gone, and now they're giving it not a stimulant but a depressant, and I think it's going to have a dramatic impact.
So where do you think the stock market's going to end up at the end of 2019? If you had to give it a range, a predictive range, what would you say?
I think down at least 20 to 30% by the end of next year.
20 to 30. Well, we have a new record for bearishness so far of all the people we've interviewed, and we'll look back at this 12 months from now and we'll see. But
you'll remind me if I'm wrong, right?
And I will remind you, and I'll also tell you if you're right, because there might be one more person sitting here in front of the cameras, actually, that might be a tiny bit more bearish than you for next year. We'll have to see. Greg, thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Dave.